Paul's Peak.
Why am I so tired? Am I fed up with everything? I just don't feel right.
Paul Perkinson. We need to chat about you and your girlfriend Audrey.
Me and Audrey are getting along very well, thank you, Peter Borking. You just stay out of this.
You haven't even listened to me yet. Pay attention.
Excuse me, Peter. You do not talk to your boss like that. That's completely unacceptable.
And it's unacceptable of you for being in a relationship with a lady who just uses you for the sake of it. Audrey or Torta does not love you in any way. Take my advice and dump her immediately. And snapping at a wise old man is more unacceptable than your point of view.
Who the crud do you think you are? I am the boss of you and you have no rights to tell me what I should and should not decide on whenever if it's to do with money or making a difficult sacrifice. This is my apartment. And
I'm warning you that you will feel worse later than now if you do not dump Audrey right now.
get out of my office.
You've been so bang out of order with yourself, Paul Perkinson. Remember my advice.
Paul Perkinson. We need to have a talk.
We are disappointed in you.
Look, Sarah and Natasha. I know what you're going to say and I didn't mean to snap at Peter Borking. I have been unwell for a bit. Nothing that either of you has done anything to me.
Peter Borking told me and Natasha in the comfort room that you started to become like Oliver Maplewell Owen because since he was fired, you've been less patient with most of your colleagues. Remember when you made Andy Alien feel sad because he wandered off in the public?
Or the time that you made Graham Gareth emotional because he and Oliver Maplewell fell out. You can't keep being snappy and impatient with your colleagues. That's a bad reputation of a head manager.
Look, you two. I am very sorry for snapping and being less patient with most of you. I just miss my sister a lot when she used to give me a hand at the old apartment before she departure for that emergency replacement in Australia. Oliver Maplewell Owen made mine and Danielle's life more difficult at the apartment months ago because of how he treated my colleagues including Danielle and myself. And since Danielle has left for family reasons, I'm currently trying to think who can take over Danielle's role at the apartment. I can't manage everything on my own. I need help, do you know?
Well, Paul. I can take over Danielle's role since I'm 21 years old. I'll be your new co-head leader of your apartment. I know you need more help because of how difficult being a head manager can be when you have to balance your own personal life and your work life here at the same time.
And you know you can come to the comfort room at any time so me, Sarah and Beth Bumblehug can comfort you and help out any big difficult situations you're currently in. We know you can be better than you are as of right now.
I know, Natasha. Thank you for understanding my point of view. And Sarah Soft. Thanks ever so much for stepping up your role at my apartment. I seriously need to apologize to Peter Borking as it might take him some time to forgive me after being snappy with him earlier today. Could you help me out, Natasha?
Definitely can do, Paul. I'll try to get through to Peter of what you are apologetic for.
And I'll make the four of us tea and biscuits so I can make Peter more relaxed than he is now.
I hope Peter forgives me.
It's another miserable day outside, it is. Too miserable to go for a nice long walk anywhere today. So it's just going to be another day in my lovely home, nice and dry. Hello there. How you been? I've been okay, thank you. What's new from me as of recently? Well, I do have something I can tell you as of recently. I've been learning how to fill cracks with this cork glue, where basically with this product you can fill in like wall cracks and door frame cracks with this type of glue, where you squeeze this, you do, and then this stick here comes out, and once you let me show you an example. Come with me. So for an example with this, you use the glue to fill like cracks. For an example, like I had cracks on this door frame before, where you use the glue to hold this and then you glue it down this way very slowly, because this wiper here of the chalk, because it's very drippy, you shouldn't ever get it on your carpet, otherwise your carpet would have it pretty much. And then once you let go of the handle, which is this, the main important thing when it comes to this type of tool, you need to press this where it lets go of the pressure of this glue. You'll still get a bit of chalk glue coming out, but the more you press it, the slower it comes out, which is the better. And then once you squeeze some glue onto the crack, what I tend to do, and my dad showed me this, you use your finger to smooth it down like this, as many times as you can to fill all the cracks in. It's a bit like painting pretty much, where you still can see a bit of a visible crack on the area, but not as much. And what I'm going to do at some point, possibly, is I'm going to do it again over, give it another layer, and hopefully the crack's going to look less visible. So I just thought I'd give you some education on how to fill cracks in, a bit of DIY, which you've never seen on Lewis Vlogs before. But if you never used tools before like this, it's best to get someone who has experience to show you how to do the job properly. If you know how to do DIY work, but I just thought I'd give you some education on how to fill cracks in. And there's another way of how can you fill cracks on walls. Here's an example over here. As you can see on this wall here, there's a bit of a crack line where because my home's been selling in since I first moved into it back in 2022, it needs some selling. It's natural with new homes. You can kind of like use the chalk glue to glue on the wall, but the difference between on a door frame on the corner wall and a wall like this one, for an example, the best advice is to use like an old card, like your old bank card, your old bus stop, your old bus pass card, for an example, and tend to like smooth it down like this way, because plain walls like this one is different comparing to the corner walls or skirting boards, for an example. So I thought I'd show you some education on how to fill cracks in around your home if you move into a new house, or your current home you've been living in for years needs some DIY work. So, now you know of chalk DIY work. That's something new I've told you about myself as of recently. What else do I have to say? Well, it's raining a lot more now. Have a look for yourself. It's raining in this October day. Yeah, it's getting colder now. I know the timeline's confusing, but I've already mentioned that so many times to you about it, so what's the point talking about it again? When I had Kaifer around the last time when he stopped over at my house, I've been telling him about what movies I've seen at the cinemas years ago, at the Few Cinemas, Showcase. I've seen a few cinemas cinemas? Should have gone Specsavers, hang on. Should have gone Super Specsavers with my mother words. What I mean to say is, I wonder what movies I've seen at the Odeon cinema are meant to say. Let's talk about what movies I've seen in the past in the cinemas, because I never told you about that before. Maybe once, but I can't remember when exactly. Let's go in the living room. Movies I've seen in the cinemas. The latest movie I've seen in the cinema was Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny with Kiefer around in July time. It was a good movie. I haven't seen the other Indiana Jones movies yet, the first four movies, because Dial of Destiny was the last movie in its franchise. The other time I've seen Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and like I said to you before, if you haven't seen it so I won't say anything about it, but it's really good. The first movie I've ever seen in the cinemas was possibly the SpongeBob SquarePants movie at the Few Cinemas in 2005. So before you even asked me what was the first movie I've seen in the cinema, it was possibly the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. In the few cinemas I've seen the SpongeBob movie, like I said to you, I've seen Charlotte's Web, Pixar's Cars, Shrek the Third. What other movies I've seen in the few cinemas in the 2000s? What other ones I've seen? Let me think. Trying to refresh my memory. I've seen Happy Feet in the cinemas years ago, possibly in early 2007. I don't think I've seen Ratatouille in the cinemas, I don't think. I've definitely seen WALL-E though in the cinemas. I've seen in the few cinemas. The movies I've seen in the Odeon cinema was Kung Fu Panda, Halt and Here's a Who, A Monster in Paris, Murder on the Orient Express. I've seen at least about 4 movies in that cinema. Other movies I've seen in a few cinemas, I've seen Astro Boy, The Croods, Cars 2, Mr. Popper's Penguins, Hop, 2011 movie. I have seen Monsters University in the few cinemas. I've seen the Sponge Out of Water movie in that cinema. I've seen Toy Story 4, I've seen Alita Battle Angel. In the showcase cinema, I've seen Detective Pikachu, I've seen Monsters vs. Aliens in the showcase cinema in 2009. I'm trying to remember. I've seen Across the Spider-Verse movie at the showcase cinema some time ago. I remember at least some of them, but not every single one of them year by year. I'll let you know next time what all the movies I've seen in the separate cinemas. I'll let you know. I've been to Signwell before with Samantha. You've seen all the way back in Lewis Vlog 8 that I've watched Shaun the Sheep from a Medallion. I never can get that word right. Shaun the Sheep the movie too, shall we put it to words. I couldn't film in the cinema because, as you know, copyright reasons, and someone will come, I'm sorry sir, but you can't film the film, that's against copyright laws. I'm going to have to ask you to get out now, and I've got more friends than you. Ha 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 ha. What are you laughing at? So, you know a bit of how to fill up cracks on the walls. You know some movies I've seen in the cinemas. What else I got to tell you as of recently? Anything else? I can show you some of my latest collectibles I got in my cupboard. Let's have a look. Okay, so my latest merchandise collectibles. Here I got this rare Postman Pat Alphonsen's Tractor Racing Champions die-cast I have. This is a really rare die-cast I've seen at the Hornby shop in Scarborough the last time I went up there in late September. It was made all the way back in 2000, and it only cost me £5.99 to buy this die-cast. You know, because this is a really rare collectible that I got. So, along with this die-cast, I also bought something else from Scarborough, which is a Monopoly Scarborough Edition board you can see on this picture. I stored it away in my merchandise collection up in, well, somewhere private. I think you already know where it is, but you get what I'm saying. I don't want robbers stealing all of my investments. So, I got this. Here, I got the Super Mario Bros. Movie Peach, mini Peach figure I got from Home Bargains for only £2.99. That's not true. Yeah, I don't remember seeing them in Home Bargains. Well, here is a photo to prove you my point exactly. I truly got it from Home Bargains. I don't believe in you. You used Photoshop to make it silly make-believe. I mean, serious, you know. I don't have Photoshop anyway. And yes, I have used it before in my college. And no, I wouldn't want to buy it for my laptop because you have to pay monthly to use it. So, screw that. I use PowerPoint for different things, you know, rather than Photoshop. You know, it's just easier. So, here's a closer look of the mini Peach figure. Now, here is something extraordinary that I haven't told any of you about. As of recently, I've been starting to collect DVDs, and you're probably going to think, why? Because, you know when VHSs went out of fashion in 2006, some of you may know, I thought that if DVDs goes out of fashion as well, for an example, these might be worth collecting. And yes, I have thought about maybe collect 4 Ultra K DVDs, but they're very expensive at HMV. So, this is the first DVD collectible I got, which is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I've seen in the Odeon Cinema in February. This is possibly a rare DVD, Tab the Lost Explorer and the Curse of the Mummy, and yes, I have seen this movie on Sky Cinema a while ago back. I think this cost me about £5, and the Puss in Boots DVD cost me £7 from Morrison's, because a lot of supermarkets now don't really sell DVDs now. Tesco's and Asda's have stopped selling DVDs. And I bought the Mario movie on DVD for only £7 as a collectible. Yeah, only from Morrison's because, you know, it's first-handed. I'm not sure about maybe getting DVDs from HMV because you'll never know what is first-handed and second-handed. But if you do know, you could let me know about that. Did you know that my friend Aaron has actually put the Mario movie DVD on his own homemade DVD for my birthday? I don't think I've told you that, but if I have, then you may know already. And I know I already seen the Mario movie on DVD I have, on Aaron's homemade DVD, but I thought if I buy a copy as well, this is for the investment, because it's got the plastic sealing on, and it will never be opened, along with these 2 other DVDs I've got. I am possibly thinking about maybe start to collect some 4 Ultra K DVDs, but it depends what I want to collect in my merchandise collection, because again, you know, it costs money to have an hobby like that. You got any DVDs that's in its plastic sealing and you've never used it before? Do you collect DVDs, any of you, or 4 Ultra K or Blu-ray DVDs? Let me know. So, you know how to fill cracks in now. We talked about what movies I've seen in cinemas in the past. You've seen my recent merchandise collectibles. I also got this Harry Potter Black Lake Lego set stored away in my investment. I only got from Smith's for about £26.49, which is on offer. I planned to get that collectible months ago, but I thought if I get the same thing first-handed on a cheaper price from the store I was planning to get anyway, I get best of both worlds, don't I now? A cheaper price and first-handed. Alan and Henrietta hasn't been to my home as of recently. I've not seen Daniel for ages around here, ever since he's moved into the apartment with Paul Perkinson. I've been losing weight, I have. Last time I weighed myself, I'm about 19 stone now, and before that I was probably 20 stone, something like that. So I've been losing weight, and 2023 for me so far has been an interesting year comparing to the other 3 years of the 2020s decade we've been going through so far. And no, I've not found out more information on that mysterious girl that me and Queenie Beth saw on Lewisville 100. That's about it now that I've got to tell you all about myself as of recently. I suppose you want to know what's happening at the apartment, so I'll leave you guys to see what they're going on for themselves. So I'm going to go for my lunch now because it's 5 minutes to 3. I've not had any lunch yet because I had a late breakfast. Brunch, shall we say? I don't know. Thanks for watching this episode, and I'll see you on episode 111. Can you believe that Lewis Vlogs has gone over 100 episodes? You should have cancelled it at episode 10. What was that? Don't be doom and gloom and grey and rain. At least there's something to watch than what's on trash TV. Watching you. Anyway. Time to get something to... Well, I'm going to nip toilet first and then get something to eat. And I'll see you next time. And for now, bye-bye everybody. Bye-bye. See you next time. And be good. Do good deeds and stop breaking the law or whatever mistakes you've made. Learn from them. Right, now for that angry pig face, don't go, you're really doing this again? I should have done this a long time ago. What was that? Nothing. Only joking. See you soon. Toilet time and then lunch time. Are you going then? We're already reached a 20-minute mark if we have. See you soon.
Coming to apologize to me, Paul Perkinson? You're going to need to do more than that to regain my trust. I don't trust people who just simply act cocky and uptight. I've warned you before about Audrey. I just don't want you to be disappointed. That's all.
I know it's likely going to take you a long time to regain trust from me, Peter. But the reason being I was in a really bad mood earlier, was because my life has been difficult since Danielle left us. If Danielle wasn't around for me when Oliver Maplewell Owen was so controlling and mistreating my colleagues, my business would have been done for pretty much. You would have despised Oliver Owen so much, Peter. I just, as well, not been on holiday for a fair few years now. And I'm not talking about going to Skegness over and over and over again. My mindset has been finding it harder to focus and manage the apartment and paperwork since my big sister has left me for that emergency replacement ages ago. Sarah Soft will be one of the best co-head workers for my apartment since Danielle's departure. I'm already missing Danielle, but life goes on as it does.
Life is a massive story, Paul Perkinson. We all were born naked, and we are all going to die naked. I found it my life harder to rely on anyone, including my own personal family. I haven't been in a family life since I was 19 years old in 1975. I remained as a single man all of my life. I'd chosen that way for me was because most women would use men for their best benefits. Audrey or Torta is definitely an example of using you for her best bits. That's the reason why I advised you to dump her, so you don't feel broke or heartbroken for Audrey's future betrayal.
Just because you never have been in a relationship before of your own, it doesn't mean you can make everyone else choose to have the same life decision you made many years ago. You just don't know Audrey a lot, Peter. You can't judge others you've never met before just because whenever they're far younger than you, or they have came from another country around the world. Society is a very different place now comparing to your generation era, Peter. I was from Canada originally and my sister Matilda came from Australia. Our mum came from America.
The reason only I stick to what I know best, Paul, is because that's how my mum and dad were with their mindsets back in the late 1950s to mid-1960s. My mum died in 1970 from an unknown cancer disease. And my dad sadly got murdered in 1966 somewhere in London. My dad used to be a welder. And my mum was a bakery lady for my hometown local village.
Tell me more about your life story, Peter. I can see sort of why you've chosen to be a lone wolf for yourself over the years.
You listening to my side of life is kinda making up for your past action earlier today. At least I can trust you lot at this apartment. It's the first time since the late 1970s I trust anyone in life.